Hi, everyone. Welcome to MBA 507. I'm your instructor, Lori Dunn, and I just wanted to walk you through some of the information in our orientation area. You know, sometimes we feel more comfortable and confident with what we need to get accomplished if we hear directly from the instructor. So that's why I go through the process. Go into our MBA 507. Give it a second. There we go. And I'm going to switch to the view that you see. Okay, so of course you always come into the home page, and that's me there. And then I give you some instruction on how to get started. Over on the left-hand side are your different menu options. If you're familiar with Blackboard already, the menu options I use for the course are course information, and that's where your majority of work will be housed. Any kind of announcements I may provide to you will be listed in the announcement area. Any kind of discussion board postings will be completed in discussions. And there's also a link in the course information area. When you email me, I appreciate you using Blackboard and using the that email option. And my grades, which I have the course set up so that you can see all your grades. And I'm going to try clicking on it right now. And there you go. As we go through the semester, you might see me modify some of this, but for the most part, any kind of assignment that you have to complete, whether it's included in your grade or not, will be listed in this area with the grade itself. And what I ask is that you just check to make sure that grades are transferring over. Properly. So that if you Okay, so I'm going to go into the course information. And of course, you want to start with your orientation. Now, our orientation and our chapter 1 are both due September 1st, which is Sunday. And for the most part, all your assignments will be due Sunday nights, one chapter a week. And you could scroll through here and read the information attached to each folder. So each folder is a chapter. I'm going to first click on our orientation, and then I always have an introduction to the course so that you can get reading. So I would appreciate you checking out the discussion board, seeing I just posted my introduction, and you will need to get the book, of course, and the access code. All your work is actually completed in a separate management system called My Finance Lab, which is a Pearson product. You use a McGraw-Hill product, it might be called Connect, but we do use a Pearson product in this course. So all your assignments, your practice assignments, basically are all completed there. However, all links to these various items are within Blackboard. So you never have to access My Finance Lab separately. Do everything through Blackboard and it automatically links out to wherever you need to go. So you will need to register, of course, for My Finance Lab, which I'm going to be going over that. There's going to be practice problems, graded assignments or problems, and then chapter quizzes. So the practice problems you do as many times as you can and want, but you need to attain an 80% or better on these. And it's during this time that you're asking questions. You can post questions on the discussion board. You can email me questions, and we could get any kind of issues you're having resolved. Graded assignments are opened once you receive an 80% or higher on the practice You will have 2 attempts to complete each package of problems, and everything is due by a certain date, of course. Then you'll have to complete, and the final part of a chapter normally is a quiz, 2 attempts usually. You have to finish each attempt in 1 sitting, and the normal time on them are 40 to 90 minutes, and there's usually about 20 questions. The only actual link within Blackboard is discussion board posting. So that's item 3 here. You must post a question about the material for each chapter. So this is a participation. This is getting into one another. I'll just read questions, post it out there. And if you know the answer boards daily to see if there's anything that I need to get involved with or answer. And I ask you to go this route because if you email me and somebody else has the same question and then they email me, it's becoming double work. And even if you have a question and maybe somebody else is like, I don't know, at least bullied at all. It's really meant for you to get communicating with each other and me so that you feel comfortable and confident with the material. And this is a required part of the course. So each chapter will have a folder within this area where you're going to have a voice lecture and PowerPoint presentation with no voice lecture on it. And then all these links to your practice, your graded, your discussion board. You also have a project that you need to complete, and the requirements on that are in the orientation folder. Just to give you a quick preview of what's expected, this is not the syllabus, it's just a little introductory page so that you could get more comfortable with where we're going. Now I'm going to use my breadcrumbs there, and the next item is our course syllabus calendar. We'll just give that a minute. Hopefully it's downloading. It's Zoom, and I don't know if it's going to flip out. Okay. Go back to, there we go. I hope this is working for you. There we go. Now we're in the syllabus and course calendar. Okay, so the syllabus and course calendar, I'm going to click on that. I'm probably going to have to reshare my screen, and I will, because it's in a Word document, and it's going to take me out of here. So just give me a second. Oh, no, I think it's still sharing. You make sure. New share. Yeah, I'm going to have to tell it to, there we go. Okay, so now you should be seeing our syllabus, hopefully. And in the beginning, of course, is just my contact information. I'm Lori Dunn. I've done it misericordia.edu, but you'll be doing your emailing through Blackboard. This is my office phone number at Luzerne County Community College. I prefer email if you could. I'm not in my office in the afternoons, so if you have a question, I wouldn't get it till the morning. am probably going to modify to Thursdays, just telling you some of the information we're going to be going over in the course, and I'm going to let you read that at your leisure. Course goals and objectives, same thing, and the MBA program goals. Information about your credit hours and disability statement. And then it goes into what we're going to be doing to assess you in the course. Discussion board interaction, practicing graded application problems, written assignment quizzes. There are no tests, exams, like 3 chapter exams or a midterm or a final exam. I don't have the course designed that way. Your book information is listed here, and you can purchase it at the bookstore packaged with My Finance Lab. Or if you prefer to purchase the items separately, the information for the access code to My Finance Lab and the ISBN for the book are provided separately. If you want to use an e-text, you would just use My Finance Lab with the Pearson eText access card. Each participation methods are participation and discussion, graded chapter assignments, which are the problems in My Finance Lab, chapter quizzes, projects, and graded discussion boards. So not only will you have a chapter discussion board for each chapter, but you'll also have, during various chapters, graded discussion boards where you'll actually become part of the final grade. They're graded, there's a rubric, and they will become, like I said, part of your final grade. I don't grade on points, I average each category. So all of your graded chapter problems will be averaged together. They're all worth 100%. The average will then be weighted as 35% of your final grade. Same with chapter quizzes. The project, there's only one, so that grade will be 15% of your final grade. Graded discussion boards, there might be 7 or 8 of them. So that is how I grade. So people will always say to me near the end of the semester, I don't understand why I have this grade. I have this many points of this many points. I don't grade on points in that respect. I grade on averages and weights. Now, once I determine that total grade, the grading system, so if your total grade after the weight is a 92, you're looking at an A-. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, just let me know. So again, each chapter will have a voice YouTube lecture. You're required to read the chapter, listen to the voice lecture, and then post the question on the discussion board for each chapter. So every chapter has to have a discussion board posting for participation. They're not guided. They're just they're up to you what you ask. And putting, I don't have any questions on this chapter is not considered a discussion board posting. You have to have a question. So please make sure that you, or a comment, or something even, maybe it's not the chapter material, you understand it all, but you're like, I wonder about this. Put that kind of question out there. On the financial statement chapter, you might say, I wonder how a financial analyst uses the current ratio. That's fine. We want to get ourselves thinking and interacting. So remember these, I take a look at the end of the semester, see how you participated, 5% of your grade. Again, assignments. Each chapter will have those practice assignments. There will be a link in the chapter folder in Blackboard. You must get an 80% or better. You can complete them as many times as you want. The graded chapter assignments will then be available, and this is all problem-based work. So you will have 2 attempts per question on the graded assignments, and they account for 35% of your final grade. So you want to make sure that you are getting answers to all your questions on the practice and the reading and the lecture before you attempt these. And then finally, the chapter quizzes, which we talked about. These account for 30% of your final grade. The project is a component of your grade, and there is a, I'm reading as I'm talking, but you'll be completing a paper on a topic within your text. So you will pick what you want and to write about, and based on information we're learning in this course, and you have to use at least 2 other sources within your paper. The topics first be approved by the instructor, and there are separate instructions and a grading rubric in this orientation area. It accounts for 15% of your final grade. I have 5 there. I think I might have changed that. So I apologize if that's an error. I will go back and fix it. But there are a few graded discussion board postings. You're expected to provide a thorough, logical, professional business response. So it'll be a finance situation you're asked about. You're expected to have proper grammar, punctuation, like you're completing a professional document. A response to another student's posting needs to be thorough, cite examples when you agree or disagree with them. I agree is not a proper response. And you must not only answer the question, but you must also respond to another student's posting. These account for 15% of your final grade. You're expected to complete all work on time. If you have a reasonable excuse for not completing work, it could be you got called out of town very quickly, you have a death in the family, your child is sick, you're sick, please let me know and I will try to work with you the best I can. But you are very aware of our calendar, and I ask you to please plan accordingly. You can submit work late, but there will be a stiff point deduction of 10 points per day. So after 10 days, I don't accept, you wouldn't get any points for any assignments completed if they're that late. Of course, policies, no cheating, right? Instructor email, I ask that you check your Mr. Cordia email daily. Sometimes I post stuff on the announcements, sometimes I email, and especially if you email me with a question, and I respond to you, and you wait a couple days, and then you say, oh, I just checked my email. Well, if you were asking for an extension or something, and I extended it, I'm done. All right, so we both need to be responsible for checking email. I check it every day. It's usually the morning, and sometimes in the afternoon. And you will receive a response within 24 hours from me. The final part of this is computer requirements. And then again, I give you a quick run through on how I determine your grade. Okay, so you could take a look at that and the computation. The last page of our syllabus is our course calendar. So these are the chapters all the way on the left that we're going to complete. These are the various practice problems that you complete in my finance lab. They are also at the end of each chapter. Your graded assignment is not in your chapter at the end of the chapter, but they are similar problems to the practice. You'll complete those in my finance lab. The due dates are there for your quizzes, and then the discussion board posting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 5 discussion board postings. Those are the graded ones. The participation, remember, every week you must participate. And then these are the various due dates of everything. Okay, so great idea to print that out or tag it, throw all those dates in your calendar. Like I said, most of those dates are on Sunday. And I believe I closed the discussion board down for a chapter by the end of the next week, and I'll show you that. Okay, and then there's the rest of our syllabus. Okay, so I'm going to go back on over. And okay, and I go back to share. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy here. What happened to my, oh, there we go. Okay, so now we're back over in Blackboard. I'm going to go back to course information and the orientation folder. So we just looked at the course syllabus and calendar. So now you're ready to start the class. What you want to do is register for My Finance Lab, okay? Now, if you bought your book, packaged with an access code, you have everything you need to complete this registration process. If you didn't buy your book, or you want or access code, or you just want to use the e-text with access code and purchase it direct from Pearson, then you could follow these instructions. So everything is done through Blackboard. So what you're going to do is, and that's what this page explains to you, you are going to go and click on Practice Not Graded for Registration Purposes Only. And when you click on that, they ask you to accept all your licensing and all that. Okay, it's going to ask you to register for Blackboard, or I'm sorry, to register for My Accounting Lab. Okay, and it should. And some people were saying they were getting a white page, and I wonder if this is what you were talking about. Okay, let's try something else then. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to click on My Finance Lab. Try it again. There could be a lot of people doing stuff. Okay. I apologize for this. I will, when I go in and go in as an oh, there we go. It's just slow. Okay, good. So what you want to do is you want to either sign in with your Pearson account. So if you've used a Pearson account before, let's see if I got one. I think it's recognizing me. It's just the system is slow. Well, I'm not going to go through and do that, so I'm not wasting your time here looking at it. But you just, if you've used Pearson before, a MyLab product, you already have a username and password. If you're not sure, you're just like, I'm just going to create a new one. Just create a Pearson account, and you could go through, you don't want to see all that stuff, but you go through and answer all these questions just like you would for create account. And when you create an account, then it's going to ask you for your access code. Now, if you don't have an access code yet and you can't buy it yet, sometimes that happens, I understand, you are able to access My Finance Lab for, I think, a week or 2 weeks for free. So don't delay getting started because you don't have the material. You'll be able to use the e-text and have access to My Finance Lab for, I believe, 10 days to 14 days. So go through this process and complete your enrollment. And then when you have an access code, you can permanently be registered for the course. Any work you complete as temporary will still transfer over as if you were in permanent. Okay, so the next part, once you complete your registration for My Finance Lab, you can click on the project information and instructions, and you can read through that. It's a Word document. This is getting kind of long, so you all can take a look, read through it. If you have any kind of questions, just let me know. Pretty self-explanatory, I think. The final areas I would like you to complete in the orientation is an introduction to the class about yourself. Okay, so you want to say who you are, where you're from, what you're currently doing, if you're working in the field, what your goals are, why you're in this MBA program, and then give us a fun fact about you. And then once you complete all the orientation, including the registration process, Finance Lab, you want to email me and say, hey, I'm in the course, I completed the orientation folder, I understand all the requirements, I'll register for My Finance Lab. You can even copy and paste this little area into an email and jet it off to me. Remember, email me through Blackboard. Okay, and then you're complete with the orientation. So now you're ready to start the course. And here's chapter 1. I remind you in each chapter what must be completed. So that's what all that writing is. And then we click on that. There's the PowerPoint, no voice. There's a YouTube video here, a voice lecture. Now, those aren't me right now. I'm working to get myself updated, but they are instructors explaining the material. Then you want to click on this. This is your participation discussion board for Chapter 1. This is where you're going to post any questions, comments about the material. You can see here, here's the practice assignments. Click on that. It'll link you out to my finance lab, graded assignments, and the quiz. And for Chapter 1, we do have a graded discussion board, and you can see them participation. And one thing to note here is that it's answer question 1-9. I don't want you to answer questions 1 to 9. I want you to answer question 1-9 only. That gets confusing for people, okay? And that's how each chapter folder is set up. I'm going to go back here to the course information and scroll all the way down. And there's your projects. Okay, so information about the project is in here. Here's your information and rubric, and your completed project should be entered into this Dropbox. The original back in the syllabus, it said December 10th, or no, not the syllabus, it was in our introduction into the course. It said December 11th it was due. It's actually due December 10th, so please note that, and I'll correct that. Okay, so back to course information. And that is good. Working in there, post your questions. If you have any kind of problems or issues, please email me. Thank you.